Hi there, all you merry Vikings! Welcome to another episode of Merry Games with You. Today we're looking at part 2 of tips on how to go about getting resources in the plains biome safely and efficiently. Let's continue. Tip 15. Make the best food you can make. In my opinion, what we use to ensure our safety and health in any biome is of paramount importance. If we are safe, we can go about the task of harvesting resources effectively. That is why I have dealt quite a bit with armor and weapons. Food is very important too. It is kind of like an armor of sorts. The higher your health points, the more damage you can take. What may cause player A to drop dead may become nothing more than a minor irritation to player B if he consumes the right food. So, always consume the best food you can make. The food from the swamp and mountain biome is pretty good and will sustain you till you can make the plains biome food. Sausages, black soup and wolf skewers are what I like to use as they give very high health. But you could combine any two of those with turnip stew or onion soup to raise your stamina a bit more in exchange for slightly lower health. Once you have harvested enough resources from the plains, you should make plains food. The Lox meat pie is very good. It gives 75 health and 24 stamina. You need to make the unbaked lox pie in a level 4 cauldron with 4 barley flour, 2 cloudberries and 2 lox meat. Then bake that in the stone oven to make the lox meat pie. Blood pudding has 25 health and 75 stamina. It is made in a level 4 cauldron using 2 thistle, 2 blood bag and 4 barley flour. Bread also favors stamina with 23 health and 70 stamina. 10 barley flour in a level 4 cauldron makes 2 bread dough. Bread dough is baked in a stone oven to make bread. Be careful. Any food left in the oven too long will turn into coal, just like meat. If you are a cautious player and you know how to evade blows, this should be good enough. If you want more health, maybe replace the bread with wolf skewers. The wolf skewer gives 65 health and 21 stamina. It is made in a level 3 cauldron from 1 wolf meat, 2 mushroom and 1 onion. If you are good at harvesting serpent meat, this is also a good option. Cooked serpent meat gives 70 health and 23 stamina, while the serpent stew gives 80 health and 26 stamina. Serpent stew only needs a low-level cauldron. A spice rack upgrade is sufficient. It is made from 1 mushroom, 1 cooked serpent meat and 2 honey. Serpent meat is precious and harder to come by though, and perhaps should be saved for the boss fight if you can get it. Just make the best food you can make if you cannot get what I have mentioned. Consuming good food frequently keeps your HP high and gives greater resistance to damage and faster recovery. Tip 16. Once you have enough linen thread, you can upgrade your armor to the padded armor set. It is much better than the wolf armor set with 79 armor at level 1 and 100 armor at level 4. The full set is a minus 10% speed reduction. This set is a lighter weight of 27 compared to the wolf armor set of 37. The lighter weight makes it very attractive. It doesn't have frost resistance like the wolf armor set though, and the linen cape is a nice red but doesn't do anything. So, tip 17. Make a Lox Cape. Once you have some Lox pelts, make the Lox Cape and upgrade it to level 4. It is quite easy to do as it only needs 18 Lox pelts in total and 2 silver. Wearing the Lox Cape instead of the linen cape would give you some flexibility as it has frost resistance and would allow you to move into the mountain biome if needed as you travel in the plains. Tip 18. You could make the black metal sword and the black metal shield, but it is probably wisest to focus on upgrading your silver sword and shield to their highest level instead. I must say that black metal weapons are not the best weapons to use for the Yagluth boss fight, and you are likely to use silver weapons instead against Yagluth as it is considered an undead. However, the black metal sword and shield will have higher damage and armor against the Fulings, making them better than the silver version against the Fulings. If you are strapped for time to gather enough resources, stick with silver for now though. You are going to use it for the boss fight. Tip number 19. If you are attacked by wild lox on foot, do not run towards water. Unlike Fulings, lox are good swimmers and can attack while swimming. You risk drowning and having a harder time to retrieve your loot from deep water. Your stamina depletes as you swim. Wild lox will not face this problem and will very likely kill you in the water. Tip 20. Travel the safest path you can find on foot or ride on a lox. As you are moving about the plains biome, look for signs of Fuling villages, tar pits and any other resources or spawn points for Fulings. If your intention is only to scout suitable locations to raid or harvest items another day, you could travel near to the border of easier biomes like the mountain, meadows or black forest biomes on foot, if any are available. It is quite easy to spot villages from a distance. An even safer way is to use the Lox saddle and ride your Lox. They are much faster than travelling on foot. You should still try to avoid danger, but you can outrun most dangers easily now. If a death skitoad is bothering you while on a Lox, it is best to kill it as soon as possible. So get off the Lox quickly and kill it. Then continue on your journey. If you don't, it is possible the Lox will die from persistent and recurring damage. Tip number 21. Always carry a portal set in your inventory. Whenever you are about to go exploring, have a portal at your base already named and ready to be used. Then carry a portal set in your inventory that you can use in an emergency or to make a quick return to base to repair or change your armor. Once you find an area you want to explore more thoroughly and it is far from your base, place the portal in a safe area first, then go explore. If you get killed, this will allow you to return easily and quickly to get your loot. The portal will also allow you to unload resources like cloudberries, needles, coins, barley and flax at your base and to continue your explorations with a lighter inventory. Tip 22. You could lure Fulings to tar pits or growths to Fuling villages. One way to kill growths and Fulings is to get them to do the job for you themselves. Growths are not friendly to any of the other plains occupants, so they will fight with Fulings. This might be a good way to kill two birds with one stone. Lure some Fulings and let them follow you to a tar pit. Definitely, if the whole village comes out to a tar pit, the growths will be killed. If only a few Fulings come out, there is a good chance all parties will be killed or be almost dead. Then a player could easily complete the job himself. Of course, this depends on how big the tar pit is or if there are more than one tar pit at the site. You could lure the growths to a village instead and quickly run out. You can come back later to continue killing the Fulings. This also helps to get rid of the growths, so you can kill the Fulings in peace and safety. Tip number 23. Lox are also good at killing growths. Provided there are only two growths at a tar pit, one Lox is more than capable of taking them out. Lox have high HP and can withstand damage quite well. If the Lox is in a fed state, it will be better able to take the damage and recover from killing two growths. Any more than two and there's a high chance the Lox will die. While it is recovering from its battle, take the Lox to a safe spot so you can do this next. Tip 24. Drain the tar pit to harvest tar. When you kill growths, there will be globs of tar left on the ground as loot. You can sometimes see globs of tar in the pit, but when you try to pick them up, it says they're stuck. So you will need to drain the pit to get those and other tar that are below the black, sticky liquid. In order to drain the tar pit, you need to dig down at the lower section of the pit on the outside to let the liquid tar drain out. You need to dig out and away from the pit in a straight line, forming a drain of about 8 meters in length or more. The liquid tar will flow out slowly. When most of the tar is gone, you will be able to pick up the globs of tar. With these, you can make new build pieces to beautify your base. Tip 25. Two growths will respawn at the tar pit even after you have dug it out. It may take a while for the spawn to reset after you have dug out the tar pit, but it will do so. Once it has reset, it will respawn every hour. So, you can return to the dugout tar pits every hour to kill the new growths. You could turn the tar pit into a tar farm. I only tell you this so you know it is possible, but I don't recommend it. It is more efficient to find new tar pits and just make a trip to all the old tar pits to kill the newly spawned growths instead. However, I will leave a link to the video made by a fellow YouTuber in the comment section below for those of you who are interested. I think it just makes more sense to do the next tip. If any of you have any comments or ideas about this, please share in the comment section below. I'm always ready to learn new things. Tip 26. Leave portals across the plains to allow you to revisit. I would place portals spread out around a large plains area, preferably the one where my farm base is located. Then I would harvest cloudberries, needles, tar, from respawned growths and other drops I get from killing Fulings from one zone, and then move on to the next zone using the portals to repeat the process. Black metal would have to be stored in a chest next to the portal to be collected another time. Even when all villages have been cleared, some Fulings will continue to respawn at various locations, providing continued access to black metal. This next tip is suggested by one of my subscribers, Shirley Temple. Tip 27. The root set can be very useful. I like this armor a lot too. Wearing the full set gives you resistance to poison and pierce, which is very helpful in the plains. This means the Death Mosquito and spear throwing Fulings become merely a nuisance. It also has a plus 15 skill raise to bow skill, an even more useful quality. What I don't quite like about it is that it is a little heavier than the Fenris set, has a minus 4% speed reduction, and is weak to fire. But you could work around that. At level 4, the root set has 42 armor, while the Fenris set has 48. If you are good at using your shield and can always manage to block slash or fire damage from other Fulings, the root set could be a very useful armor to have. In this game, there is no one size fits all. It really depends on your skills and playstyle. So go ahead and give it a go if you like. Well, thanks for staying to the end of this episode. I hope you have learned something or enjoyed viewing the video. I am interested to hear from anyone who has anything else to add, so please do leave a comment below. I am ever ready to listen to any suggestions or learn new things. One more thing, if any of you find the music too loud, let me know down below. I like having music in the background, but if a significant number of you feel I should lower the volume, I will do so. Bye my merry Vikings, see you next time!